Hello, beer fans. We're going to continue our tour of the adjuncts that I've decided to start this out with Genesee beer. This is one of New York's most popular New York states kind of local brewery. It would kind of be before the dominance of Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch and Miller and all them. There were kind of local breweries, things like Falls City in Louisville, for instance, and these seemed to collapse in the 70s. But a few held on, like Genesee, which is starting to expand. And as you can see, Jenny's known for Jenny Cream, but this is their standard beer, Genesee beer. It's an adjunct. Now, it is occasionally identified, by Wikipedia at least, as a pre-prohibition style, much like Yinling. And I can only assume that means it has corn in it, because as you'll see as I pour it, comparisons to Yinling seem difficult. So here's the pour. You can see the beautiful kind of a golden color we associate with weak beer in America. The rapidly disappearing head that we also associate with the adjunct style. In every way, you can tell this is an AA, or an American adjunct. Big bubbles also seem to be a sign, and the head also seem to be a sign of the adjunct style. You can put the can back here so you can see Genesee beer. So anyway, this is Jenny, the brew of New York. Now, right away, though, when the first taste, you can tell this doesn't taste quite like your typical adjunct, or at least your Budweiser type. You can certainly taste it has more of a I can only assume that's a corn type flavor, because it's also kind of the type of flavor. The flavor somewhat reminds you of Yinling lager, although a little less hoppy than Yinling. My feeling is that if this is cheaper than Bud, it's a good value. Again, if we're going by kind of Bud as our standard, I can see if you're a Pabst drinker, that might hit the spot for you. You might like, if you are a hipster, the kind of old-fashioned marketing, the cheap price, and it's like there's something to that. That's weird. You can hardly taste the hops. At all. But it's it's again, it faintly resembles Yinling, but it's kind of like a dull Yinling. If you could just kind of tamp Yinling back a little bit. Just kind of smooth that out a little bit and make it a little less flavorful. You kind of have ginny. Again, like all adjuncts, it is for people who want to drink beer but don't really like beer, who want to drink a lot for a cheap price, and that type. Of the style, I don't think it's bad at all. But the style is the worst style of beer. Probably mainline outside of fruity beers. I actually probably like adjuncts better than, say, fruit adjuncts. This could be worse. I think if you're looking for a weak beer and you see this one might be worth getting. It's a little bit different than Coors or which I think I'll review in the future. However, it's not as good as Yinling, even though it's occasionally cited as a pre-prohibition style like Yinling. It's not nearly as good as Yinling, but that's one of the best adjuncts. That's probably the best of the mainstream adjuncts you can find, even though it's usually not classified as such. It's usually classified as an amber lager as opposed to an American adjunct. Anyway, that is the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and bottoms up sometimes.